Hi everybody, Derek Pollacchi here, back for another Coach's Clipboard number 11. And first time sitting in the chair is Sul Ross women's head basketball coach, Lady Novak. Coach, how
Thanks
you doing?
for having me. Doing
Absolutely.
well.
Let's talk about this. I've looked over the roster.
Yes.
It's a different roster from last year.
Yes.
A lot of new faces. Most of the departures were not due to graduation. Why the shakeup?
You know, we just needed some different changes going forward. You know, I'm trying to build on a program. I mean, it's going to be academics first, number one, is what I'm looking for when I'm recruiting student athletes. So trying to get students in there that are going to really do a good job representing us in the classroom, and then just getting it done on the court. And you know, every year it's coach's job to continually recruit better and better, and that's what I was trying to do. And you know, preseason's a long preseason, and not everybody makes it through, and it's pretty typical for a college season, but it's kind of how we got to where we're at right now. So yeah, a lot of new faces, a lot of freshmen, for sure.
Now last year, your first year coaching here at Sul Ross, you ended on a sizable losing streak. What did you learn from last year?
You know, last year I think we got away from getting better every day. No matter what the result was of the game, I think that we had too many inconsistent times throughout the season, and that came down to a lot of practice stuff too. So that's kind of what we're trying to focus on now going forward, is getting better every day in practice, having more consistent practices, not so much of an up and down thing. You know, it's kind of the same thing. Basketball is very much so a game of runs, and the season's very long. So, you know, when you're doing well, it's easy to stay up, and things won't always go your way. So being able to bounce back from that better is something that we're really trying to focus on.
Now, once last year ended and you're looking towards 2018, 2019, what was on your list of need-to-dos or must-dos?
Definitely wanted players that could run the floor. Work ethic is always a huge thing. Players that get in the gym and are trying to improve themselves all the time is really important. I wanted depth at every position just because that brings more competition. So that's really what I was focusing on, and you know, found a lot of good players from El Paso and started recruiting a lot more out of there. You know, kids like to be closer to home a little bit, and I think there's a lot of good talent there that hasn't really been found, maybe, you know, because they're so remote, I would guess. But, you know, we have a lot of good players that have come in as freshmen that either were AAU teammates or high school teammates. So that's kind of a cool thing, too, to have some familiarity coming in, even though they're brand new.
One stark difference I noticed from last year to this year is they move the ball better. It seems like they're quicker, better passing, more concise, yes?
Yep. And, you know, that will hopefully get better. I think that we had some lulls when we played Angelo State. But as we get more comfortable with each other and more used to each other, I think that'll continue to improve. But we are trying to play at a little bit quicker of a pace, sharper passes, all that kind of thing. So.
Now looking at the roster, looks like there's 6 on the roster that are returners: Annie Lenore, Kayla Cosby, Angela Latin, Erica Powell, Jasmine Valdez, and Lizette Heredia. Such a young team. Besides the junior transfer Chandra Nunez, everybody else is a freshman.
Yes.
How confident are you in these returners to help lead this young team?
You know, that's what they're there for, and I know some of the returners are even still underclassmen, but hopefully setting the tone of what we want to do every single day, especially in the preseason when it's going to be all in the players. And I think the returners have done a pretty good job of that so far, and I'm going to continue to look for them to really set the tone for this is the team that we want to be this year, and, you know, the freshmen can follow along.
You started the season on the road against number 24, Angelo State University,
Yes.
a D2 team. 99-62 the loss, but a D2 team nonetheless. What positives do you take away from that game?
You know, I liked how we had a bad third quarter, but we finished the game a lot stronger. So we had some good things. We had some freshmen step up and guard some of their returning all-conference players really well. They also have the projected player of the year, and number 10. She's a fantastic player, and I thought we did a good job of making her work for tougher shots and, you know, really trying to focus on, did we get better from our exhibition game? And, you know, I think we did. I liked our effort. Sometimes our execution wasn't very good or consistent. But that's something that, as we play more games, is going to get better and better. And starting 3 freshmen, I think they did a fantastic job of having a really good start.
We'll talk about a good start. Chandra Nunez, ASC West Division Player of the Week, 29 points, 11 of 21, 5 for 8 from 3. That's a heck of a debut.
Yes. And it's not surprising to us because we know the kind of work she puts in outside of practice time. She's in the gym shooting every day. So, you know, when she gets on, she's not going to miss often. So I don't think any of the coaches or her teammates were too surprised by that. But, you know, she's a very good scorer, can score in a lot of different ways. And trying to get her to rebound a little bit more, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. But I think she's doing a really good job, and she'll be a good leader for us this year.
We'll be talking about possible newcomer of the year.
You never know. She keeps putting in the work.
Absolutely.
Anything's possible.
Talk about the rest of this rookie class.
Yeah, we have a couple coming in. Kaylee Martinez did a really good job in both exhibition games. She's kind of an interesting matchup because she can play the 2 through 5, and she can really guard the 1 through 5, which I really haven't had a whole lot of in the past, so I like having that versatility on the floor. Great rebounder, can really run the floor well. And, you know, she's going to do a really good job. And Jocelyn coming in is her old teammate from Eastwood, and those two play really well together. Again, both those two, you know, have some good length now that we have down low, working on trying to get stronger and things like that. But, you know, with the preseason and then, you know, the older freshmen will get, that'll just happen over time. Jess also did a really great job guarding Angela State's 6'4" post player. I mean, she was tough, and Jess did a good job. We as a team, we can get better blocking out, but I'm seeing some good glimpses so far. Michaela Hamilton just had gotten back from an ankle injury, only had a few practices before that. So, you know, I think we have yet to see what she can do even in practice, and I'm excited to see. I mean, she's really quick with the ball, comes from a really good high school program. So I think that she'll continue to help us this year. And Liz Mata, didn't get to see a lot of minutes at first, but really great athlete, hard worker, and again, like just adjusting to the college game and things like that. I think I'm very hopeful with the direction that the freshmen are moving towards as well. And Kaylee Diaz had started for us at the point guard, and she actually wasn't a point guard in high school, but we've kind of moved her over that a little bit because she can really push the tempo and get the offense going. So, you know, seeing a lot of good things from a lot of different freshmen and kind of see where the season takes us. But the work ethic is there. I think we'll continue to improve.
With more rookies than returners, we're going to have to see some instant impact from some of these rookies, right?
Yes. And, you know, it's not always a comfortable thing, so that's why I was happy with our start for both UTSA and Angelo State. Now, we weren't very consistent, and you can kind of see our youth and things like that, but we had really good starts to both games, and that's having majority of the starting lineup as freshmen, which is not always an easy thing. So it's going to be a good experience for the freshmen moving forward as well. You know, they'll just continue to get a little bit more wise and more comfortable as the season goes on.
So ultimately, what are we going to see? What are the big differences between last year to this year's team?
I would say that just general toughness, pace of the game, toughness. I think that we'll be able to score a lot more. We have a lot of different tools with that. I think we can go inside a lot more. Last year we were very undersized, playing guards at the post, at the 4 and 5 every single game. This year we have some true post players. So I think that we can use our inside game a little bit more. Again, once we start getting more comfortable playing together and getting used to what everybody can do, I think we're just going to have a little bit more weapons at every single position, and definitely more depth on the bench, so that'll be good coming off. I think that we can get some really good sparks coming from the bench. Hopefully we can play a little bit more up-tempo than we were able to last year.
Now, you said that some of your returners are still underclassmen, so they're still learning as they go as well,
yes,
so to speak. Who are you looking at from your returners to get to that next level?
You know, I really expect a lot from all of them, especially my couple seniors in Angelin and Annie, and, you know, just being leaders, and Lizette as well, just being leaders on and off the court. And with Lizette, she was one of those people I talked about being a undersized 5 player last year, and we're moving her to a guard, so she's kind of working on that transition. But, you know, the season's long, and just being able to persevere and get through the long stretches of the season or down times, and I look for them for a lot of the leadership stuff too. You know, it's not so much the stat line, although, you know, you hope that they're all producing and improving, But I think from those 3 seniors, I think they'll do a really good job of, moving us forward throughout the season.
So what would you say in year 2 are the goals and expectations of this season?
Well, we want to be competing in every game. I thought there were too many last year where we weren't really competitive in, especially if it got away a little bit earlier. So competing in every game, playing in the postseason, so conference tournament, and really getting to that position where we're competing for a conference championship and being competitive. And again, like I said, it's just improving every day. There's not really a set record in mind, but just seeing, like, as a team, are we changing? Are we getting better? Are people as individuals growing? Are we playing better together as a unit? That's really what I'm looking for. And I think if that stuff starts happening, the wins will eventually start coming.
Do players expect or have an expectation out of a coach?
Yeah, I would say so. They have it out of me and my staff and the whole rest of the program of, this is where we want to be. One thing that I like about this year is talking about postseason play has already been a lot more apparent, so just getting it in their minds that this is something that we think about and we look forward to, and that's a goal we're trying to reach. And I hear those conversations more, which I think is a step in the right direction. Now, being able to actually apply and work towards it, we'll just have to see how we do. But I like that the goal setting is there. So we're trying to do that, our part as a staff, to really get that in their minds, but we also want it to come from them as well.
Talk about the rest of your staff.
I have a new graduate assistant, Rachel Beatty. She used to play for me a couple of years ago at Our Lady of the Lake. Excellent rebounder when I coached her, just tough all the time. She does a really good job. She kind of played more of a 4-5, but also can handle the ball and do things like that. She was an academic All-American, so I really trust her with taking care of all the classroom duties that she needs to, and so far my team's doing a really good job with that as well. But I'm really happy to have her. And then Lorenzo Sanchez is our student assistant, and he was here last year helping out, and he's played a little bit more of a bigger role this year and able to be around a lot more with his work and class schedule. So those 2 are doing a really good job, and I like their energy in practice, and I'm grateful to have them both.
Obviously, basketball is important, but you said academics comes first.
Yes. Really, we want to look to move our team GPA up all the time, and the main thing is I want to get these seniors to where they're graduating with honors, graduating, getting good jobs, and moving everybody else in that direction, because that's really what's going to continue on the rest of your life. And I want to do a better job of that as a program of graduating people with the highest GPA we possibly can, and getting them in good positions to succeed when they leave Sul Ross.
Right. Now, we're a small D3 school here at Sul Ross, which a lot of people that don't know it will say it's in the middle of nowhere. Come out and visit, it's beautiful, you'll love it. What does it mean to you to see the men's basketball team go out and prove that a small D3 school can make big things happen and win championships?
I think it's a great example for my team to look forward to. Like, hey, this is a real thing. This is very possible. And Coach Carroll does a great job. He's recruited a great bunch in previous years, and they prove that it doesn't really matter as much about location as people might think. But if you have the work ethic, you have the players, you have the tools, and you're continuously getting better, you can make something happen that might have been in a tough spot before, maybe not an ideal situation for everybody. But I think that it should give them hope, and I remind my players of that all the time, like, hey, that's where you want to be, especially watching their ring ceremony at the football game earlier on in the season. Like, that could be you. You got to put in the work, but that could be you. That's something that, we need to start thinking about as an entire program. So I love that we have that example to look towards.
Absolutely. Now, looking ahead to this schedule again, it's not an easy schedule.
No.
A lot of the home games are at the back end of the season.
Yes.
In January. Does that help you guys at the end of the day, you girls at the end of the day, that most of your home games are at the end when you want to make a run?
I'm not really sure, because last year was my first year, and that was a different kind of schedule.
Yeah.
Usually you're used to having more home games, so I do think the travel sometimes can wear on us a little bit, but we'll see. I think any group of individuals can be different. So it may be beneficial for this group here, but we do travel to a couple difficult trips early on. And I don't think it's a bad thing, though, to be putting us in tougher environments. And, we'll play Trinity here in a couple weeks. And, some of the long road trips will really get to you. So I think it'll challenge us to see how focused we can be.
Sul Ross, Lady Lobos, head basketball coach, Katie Novak, coach, thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck this season.
Thank you.